Hey guys, Alicia Downs, RN, MSN, CDCES, Director of Patient Care and Education at Integrated Diabetes here. Usually this would be a thought from the train, but missed the train this morning. So I'm bringing you a thought from the car. I was talking with a patient this past week and with a friend, and the same theme came up in both discussions, and that was shame. Shame is the feeling that we get when we haven't met a goal or an expectation, whether that's an external goal or expectation put on us by someone else, or our own goal or expectation of ourselves. And here's the irony. The number one thing that will keep us from reaching our goals is shame. When we are ashamed of ourselves, when we hold guilt and shame on ourselves, we don't value ourselves enough to feel worthy of the achievement of reaching the goal. We don't feel worthy of the resources that it takes to reach the goal. We feel external shame from others, so we become avoidant of seeking assistance to reach the goal. One of the number one reasons patients report for missing doctors, and particularly endocrinology and diabetes related appointments, is feeling shamed by their clinicians, or feeling guilt and shame themselves for not having reached clinical goals that they discussed with their clinicians. And it's not always easy to let that go. It's not always easy to identify where it comes from, where it starts. It takes some bravery and some self-searching. But one of the things that I love about being a clinician at IDS and working with my fellow persons with type 1 is that I always start every clinical relationship, every new patient appointment, letting people know that we all live life with type 1 too. So that means we're doing our best to walk the walk while we talk the talk. We're not gurus on the mountaintop. We don't have it all perfect. We have hot mess days. We have times when diabetes pushes us and stresses us. And we have our own areas that we're working on all the time. We're human, just like you. And so this isn't a place of guilt or shame. We're not here to judge. Health and wellness is a value. It is a value just like faith, just like marriage, family, having children is a value, education is a value, finance is a value, fashion is a value, your appearance is a value. We all have values in life, and they're all going to be different, and they're all going to take different priority at different times. And health and wellness is also a value. But for some reason, we all feel the need to and the right to somehow guilt and shame one another for how we value and prioritize our health and wellness. Like, how dare you not always try to be the very healthiest human that you can possibly physically be? Well, we don't shame people for not always trying to be the most spiritual person they can possibly be, or the most fashionable, or not being married, or not having children, or not seeking wealth, but for some reason right now, especially in our culture, especially in American culture, the value and the priority placed on health is really centralized and really judged. So recognize in yourself that is a value that you get to decide priority on. Communicate it with your clinicians. Let them know that maybe right now wellness isn't your top priority, or that you value things in a certain order, because wellness may not be your top priority right now. You may be working on your family, and that might be your top priority, and your finances may be in need of your focus. Your doctor's always going to assume that your health is your primary priority, just like your bank is always going to assume that your finances are your primary priority, because that's the world that they see and that they are called to consult in. So you need to educate them on what's going on in your world. At IDS, I tell patients in that new patient appointment, my job as your clinician is not to impose my values on you. It's not to tell you what my goals for you are. It's to act as a clinical buoy to let you know, clinically speaking, by the numbers, by the data that we have, here's where you can optimize health and wellness, here's where you can stay healthy and well, and here's where things become unsafe. My job is to facilitate your goals, your values, and your priorities for your health and wellness in your diabetes world, or whatever world you are prioritizing at that particular time, and to let you know what buoys you are currently traveling between and when you change direction, to let you know, hey, you've gone from optimal into healthy waters, but you're still healthy, or hey, you've gone from healthy into potentially unsafe waters. Let's help you get back on track. And the only place I'm going to stop is I'm not going to facilitate you doing things that are unsafe. And I'm going to let you know that. But I'm not here to judge you, because your values are different from my values. Your values might be to place far more emphasis on your physical health than I necessarily would. We're going to have discussions and make sure that you're thinking consciously, that you have a good framework for making those value decisions. But it's not my job to judge. It's not my job to push or to assert my own values. If you've come across a diabetes management system or a weight loss system or any sort of health system that is pushing a value set or a priority set down your throat, that's not healthy, because it might work for a little while, but life shifts, life changes, and your values shift and change too. And if you're not working within a system that allows for that flexibility, it's not sustainable. And the community that has supported you can also turn on you if you're not working within their value system. So caution. Find a community that is going to support you in your values and is going to allow those to shift and change, and communicate openly with your clinical staff, with your clinical supports, with your personal supports, with your support system outside of your clinical world, and let them know your values, your priorities, and your needs to maintain that value priority structure as it ebbs and flows and changes through your life. So this was a bit of a long one, but I'm almost to work now. So thanks for joining me on my commute, and have a fantastic fall.